Flying into town was the Assistant Environment Minister, Trevor Evans. He was here for a fly-in, fly-out visit. It was all about recycling. Wasn't Susan Lee, who is the member for Farrer and also the Chief Minister on the Environment, it was the Assistant Minister that got to come to South Australia. He was announcing that at the Kingsford Estate at Roseworthy, just a stone throw away from where we broadcast, just north of Adelaide in the Barossa region, that the federal government was going to give a grant of $8 million to Aurora, who are the glass manufacturer in this region. Now, good on Aurora for obtaining that grant, albeit we didn't see any of the detail of how that occurred in terms of the openness for other companies to be part of it. Aurora, of course, is a glass manufacturer. The interesting thing about this particular press conference that Trevor Evans had was that they went to a paper plant in Adelaide. That's right. They went to a paper plant to talk about where they're going to be recycling bottles. So you see that Trevor Evans didn't really want to come just that extra 25 minutes further north to do the interviews nearby Roseworthy, where it would be quite easily for them to have done that. And the federal government says that it's doing this because it is ensuring the future of recycling in this country. Yet here's the thing, federal and state governments are going to have to spend a lot more on recycling because we already know that China, through its National Sword program, has determined that as of this year, and actually back in 2017, they stopped the import of some of our waste. Now China takes zero of Australia's waste. And we were sending 1 million tonnes of this, that's cardboard and glass and so forth, for them to recycle. They've decided that, well, they're not going to do that anymore because it costs money to do so. So the federal government says it's giving $8 million to Aurora in order for the government to be seen and its credentials to be a recycling type government. That we're looking after those companies that recycle. Well, here's something more interesting. The same federal government presiding over the recycling portfolio, the environment and so on. Back in 2017 in South Australia, a Kilburn recycling plant closed. It was due to $100,000, the annual increase in their power bills. That's it. Remember, this is all in the same environment area. Surely the same federal government or state government could find grants to help those companies suffering under the enormous increases in power. You remember South Australia at that time had the world's most expensive power? Well, it was this company in Kilburn in South Australia that closed its doors. And so 35 workers at that Kilburn plant, back Plastics Granulating Services, if you want to know who it was, in the inner north of Adelaide, was basically out of business. No grants, nothing to keep them going so that, we could recycle. Even though in 2017 China had already said through its China Sword program it wasn't going to continue taking our million tonnes. Our federal government allowed that to happen. It is the winners and losers. We need to be self-sufficient as businesses. We also should be funding into our own businesses. When the government makes the playing field unlevel like it is, then this is the situation you have. One wins, one loses, to the detriment of those people employed in that industry and to those good quality businesses who didn't deserve to go out as they did.